welcome back, guys, to another episode of Are You Not Entertained? And I've been entertained both in terms of drama in the last week and in terms of goals. Because it's been all right, we've done okay. At the same time, we've also had some misery, but we're doing all right. It's just dramatic everywhere we look. So, boys, how have you found it? I don't want to hear about your personal lives. All I want to know is how you've been feeling in terms of Spurs. So, Peter, how have you been feeling in terms of last week? For Tottenham, not you.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Jerry. In terms of Spurs, we've pretty much hit the nail on the head, haven't you? We've been very much entertained, whether that is through the way Spurs have played, because they have played pretty well in patches of games, and we've been entertained with the drama of the mental rules that are going on in football at the minute. But we will get to that.
And Ollie, how are you getting on? Not personally, don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it's been a hard day at work. I just want to hear how are you feeling about Spurs.
Well, Jerry, it's been a very hard day at work. I went out for lunch today and had a really nice burger. So thank you for asking, Jez. But no, in terms of the football world, very entertaining. One draw, a couple of wins since we last spoke, and things are looking very positive.
2 draws, really, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, if you count, I suppose technically a draw / win on penalties. But as with Spurs, it's feeling positive. International break's coming up, so we're going to lose to United. to the surprise of absolutely nobody. But yeah, overall feeling good. Looking up, really.
Perfect. Well, let's get into the positive. Well, actually, take that back. We're not going to go into the positive. We'll go into the drama. We'll do that first. We'll take it negative because then we'll come back up. So let's talk about the handball rule. I mean, that is pretty much the world of football now. Everyone, it just blew up, especially after the Dyer one. I mean, typical Spurs in terms of we were the guinea pig. Something horrible happened to us. And then seemingly everyone went, well, that can't be happening to everybody else. Because that was horrid. Did you see what happened to Spurs the other day? It was gruesome. So they're trying to talk about it. I mean, in terms of just the rule in general, Ollie, I'm going to come to you. Just how do you understand it, or like what did you think? Let's go into just that Dyer moment where in the Newcastle game, as we know, he jumps up, he can't see it, the ball hits his arm. What's your understanding of it, and what did you think?
Well, the rule has obviously been, or the law, I should say, has been slightly changed in the fact that they're sort of saying now that almost any time it hits your hand, if it's below the sort of armpit area, it's pretty much going to be a handball, unless you can't see it or there's such a short amount of distance between you and the ball. So based on that fact, I still don't understand how it was a handball. And about the natural silhouette of the body. So yeah, the change has been mental. As you said, things have to happen badly for us first before people look at it. It's just frustrating, isn't it? I mean, watching the game, as you said, Jez, we were the dominant team, and annoyingly, I think part of the frustration comes from the fact that we should have been 3-4-0 up. The game should have been put to bed. We had so many chances, missed so many chances, and Newcastle didn't have a single shot on goal until the penalty. Again, that was like their 3rd shot on goal in the whole season, and they've only scored 3 goals. Like, that's just a joke. So in true Spurs fashion, like you say, we managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, which is proper Tottenham, isn't it, really? But yeah, the whole thing was frustrating. I mean, yeah, what do you think, Pete?
Yeah, I don't understand how anyone who's ever played football at any level, like professionally or grassroots, can turn around and say that should be a penalty.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, he's got his back to the ball. He has to raise his arms to jump. You can't jump like this. It's stupid.
He pushed as well.
And he's got his back to the ball. And also, what really annoyed me is it wasn't a foul for the free kick anyway. Like, Joel Linton just sort of does this weird sort of plays it off, looks at Højbjerg and jumps at him, and then they both fall backwards. And Højbjerg's a bit like, but like that's not what we're talking about. But that was mental in itself. But just anyone at any level of football understands that there's nothing he can do. You can't give a penalty for it. So why has it suddenly happened that it has to be coming from people who are high up in football like governing bodies but have never played the game, because you can't have played the game and think that's a good decision. And the one at Palace was quite bad as well. I thought the same weekend, the header, like Joel Ward had his hands down by his side. He's crouching down. He's trying to keep his balance, ready to push one way or the other, and the ball just gets headed at him. And it was a little bit of a further distance. The Man United one against Brighton was pretty bad because he's jumping to win the header. But yeah, it just was. I think you're right. It boils down to the fact that it's a disgusting decision. But it should have been a penalty in a game that was 3-0 anyway, so it should have just been 3-1, 4-1, whatever it should have been. It wouldn't have mattered. Jez, what have you been thinking?
Well, I had a little read up of the rules, and with what you said, Ollie, you know how so there's 2 rules that the FA actually took away. So the governing body who have designed the handball rule that they were using in La Liga and Serie A, and like you said, you showed the stats of like how many goals and penalties for handball. It's outrageous. I think it was like, what did you say? It was 19 in the Prem.
So yeah, the Prem last season there was 19 penalties were given away for handball. In Serie A it was 57, and in La Liga it was 48, I think.
Yeah,
but just handball,
which is just crazy. But actually, the rule that they're implementing is actually slightly better than what the Prem have done. So the FA have taken those rules. All listed down and really isolated. So instead of the idea, of the ricochet, a ricochet meaning that the ref can decide not to give a penalty, they cast out. The FA said, no, won't use that bit. And also the idea that if you're not looking and you can't see it, that could mean that the ref doesn't have to give a penalty. The FA also got rid of that. So if you read the rulings that the FA have got in place for handball and then the rulings that this governing body have put in place, those are the 2 points they took out, which I found absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, that's mental.
Because those are 2 things that gave referees the opportunity to apply some common sense. It was nothing short of crazy to go, those 2 points we don't need. We'll just cast them aside. So I couldn't believe that, because I was thinking, it's completely from false. We're just trying to copy other countries and we've made it, we're just struggling with it because, we love our English game. And then I read that the FA have actually made it even worse, and it is concrete. I read through from the FA website how they've put the rules, and those 2 bits are gone, which is just shocking, which just makes it. Jermaine Genius, obviously, I'm a big fan of JJ. I think we all liked him as a player, albeit he didn't necessarily always fulfill his potential, but a likeable guy. He put it fantastically the other day. He said something along the lines of, the more we try to push for the rules to be black and white and stringent and no way to just yes or no, the more we disarm referees and make it impossible for them to use common sense, which is so spot on. And I think he is a good pundit. Like, bias aside, I do quite like listening to JJ. Even sometimes he's quite harsh on us, and he'll say like, no chance of getting Champions League or whatever. Like, he's pretty honest, and I thought that was really spot on. So just found it super frustrating, but at least, touch wood, they're meeting. I think they're meeting today, actually. To really discuss it, and fingers crossed they change it, because like Pete said, anyone who's played the game at any level, it's just a joke. Just get a load of these guys to go into a box, like all these blokes with skinny arms who are making decisions, and ask them to jump up and down. We'll throw footballs at them and see what happens. Like, and they'll be like, well, your arm shouldn't be up there. It's ridiculous. Like, they'll figure it out very quickly if you just put
all salmons, mate. All salmons.
Yeah, apparently I think all armless. They've all got no arms.
I think when you couple it with VAR as well, it just makes it even worse, because you get ones that just brush the arm and never deserve to be a penalty either, and then someone in a studio somewhere sees it and goes, well, that's a penalty, and it's just it makes it even worse. It's just killing the game.
The problem with it, and part of it comes from VAR and the fact that they wanted to make it more, like you said, Jez, more black and white, and you just can't do it. You cannot do it. The referee, just right, he says, disarmed completely. So I lay no blame on the ref, because all they're doing is implementing the laws as they're told to implement them. So you can't blame them.
100%. I saw on Twitter loads of people tweeting pictures of the ref from the Newcastle game going, he's not fit to ref, he's disgraced, he's disgusting. No, he's following the rules that he's been told to follow. It's not his fault. That's mental. Like, you can't blame the referee.
Yeah.
However, the ref in the Maccabi Haifa game, he was terrible.
He was terrible.
Tell us why, Pete.
Well, the 2 penalties that he gave for handball, were not following the rules at all. He just gave them because he literally went, I'm going to do my own thing. But this is where I think the problem lies in it. Even refs who are now reffing at a very high level in European football don't understand their own rules they're being told to implement. Mm-hmm. I mean, the one against Doherty was bad, but the one they give against Maccabi Haifa was awful. The guy's arm was here and hit his arm in front of his body. Like, it's never a penalty, ever a penalty.
No, absolutely. It made no difference at all. I was actually shouting at the screen more for their penalty.
Yeah.
Ours. It just felt like, to me, one of those refs, like Sunday League, Saturday League, at any level, if you claim it, you get it. That's what it felt like with him. Like, you call for it, it's yours. That, I couldn't believe. Doherty, like you say, was bad enough. But then when I was actually screaming, I was like, you're a joke. Why have you done that? We don't deserve that penalty, you scum.
It's mental.
I couldn't believe it. The game as a whole was quite nice. It's just nice to see goals, and they were a bit all over the place defensively. But yeah, the 2 penalties, and just because it's been so fresh in our minds from the game previous, it was just watching it and going, of course this is happening. And of course you've given 2 penalties that even within the rules are not possible. What I would say is it was nice to see goals where you didn't have to think about whether you could celebrate or not. Yeah. It was quite nice to just celebrate.
Yeah.
Like, that is definitely a goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just know. Because the first one, when, even in the Chelsea game, when we come on to that, when Lamela scored, I was like, oh, they're going to check it. Is he offside? No need. No need.
But we do it all the time when we're watching Spurs in the group chat, when we're talking to each other, and someone will score, and then one of us will put, wait, just hang on, make sure he's onside. Like, it's killed it a little bit, isn't it, that as well, I think.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about VAR is I think VAR is a bit of a lie. Well, it's a massive lie, because VAR's here to do clear and obvious mistakes. They should have just said VAR is here to correct mistakes.
Yeah.
Because VAR's not here to correct clear and obvious mistakes, because it does everything, and it changes an offside rule that's a hair wrong. Mm-hmm. It changes handball rules that are impossible to see. It changes everything. Like, the ref will clearly not deem as an obvious mistake, and none of us would ever deem as an obvious mistake. So I just think they should have just been like, it's here to do mistakes, and they just cleared that up, because then people wouldn't moan and say that's not obvious. They're trying to take away grey area. Well, be honest about what it's there for then, because then it takes away the grey massively. Sorry, was you going to jump on?
Yeah, no, just part of what annoyed me so much with the VAR one as well was that obviously the ref went over to the screen, didn't he, in the Newcastle game? And the first clip he sees is Dyer like this, and the ball hitting his arm. Nothing else. That's the freeze frame is that. And it's like, well, obviously you're going to give a penalty because it looks blatantly obvious that he's handballed it. But then if you actually play it, it's literally he jumps, gets pushed, arms like that, and it's like a little brush off his arm. Well, if he hits his arm. And it's just like, it's just tough. Like, I remember, I was watching the game live on my laptop and that, and I saw that he went over. I saw the freeze frame, and I had to close my laptop. But I was like, he's going to have a penalty, and I can't have to watch it. It's just an absolute joke. And that's something I've never done. I've always, even if we've been battered 4-5-0, whatever, I always watched the end, but I just turned it off. It completely ruined it for me.
Can I just set just a little caveat on that? I've done that twice. Once I missed Harry Winks score a winner against Fulham. And once I missed Harry Kane get an equalising penalty against West Ham. So two times.
Was that he scored after as well and won the game 3-2, that West Ham game?
No, it wasn't that one. It was one at home where we got a penalty late on and Harry Kane scored it.
Oh, okay.
But both times I was watching it on a laptop, and both times I slammed it shut, so I was furious. I thought nothing's going to happen, and I missed a winner and an equaliser. So funsies for me.
Maybe do it more often, Pete.
Oh yeah, it's not great for me, but it's working for other people.
Every important game, just get the laptop out, and then if things start to go wrong, slam it, and then me and Ollie will let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
But if we'll just quickly roll through the results, because we kind of touched on it. But obviously, we drew 1-1 with Newcastle. We all saw. I think everyone agrees. The first half performance in particular was awesome.
Yeah, very good.
Absolutely terrific. Sanchez looked absolutely shit hot. Excuse my language. But he's been absolutely just fantastic. And then him to get a knock really stung. I have heard little hints that he might be on the bench Sunday. So we'll see about that, but we're not too confident because it was a hamstring. But it is exciting, that he could be back at the same time as Bale. Together and pure excitement. But yeah, we drew with the King, but we drew 1-1. We then obviously played Chelsea. We drew on 1 again, but Peter, we won. It was a win.
Penalties.
No matter how you win, be it penalties, or goals, you are the winner. And that was super exciting. So we'll come to the penalty shootout. And then we won 7-2 against Maccabi Haifa. Is that right?
Maccabi Haifa, yeah.
Maccabi Haifa. In a game that was a bit silly to me, just a bit of silliness. They weren't particularly good. We let them score an absolute worldie. And then
that was a worldie.
It was. And they've scored quite a few, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like worldies.
Absolute worldies. Nothing he could do about it. And then so we conceded, but fair enough. And we bagged a load of goals because they were pretty shoddy. But in the Chelsea game, guys, we go to penalty shootout. Who was confident?
Just for the record, not one person put their hand up.
Yeah. So, Pete, I'm coming to you. What were your emotions when we got to the penalty shootout?
First thing, I properly celebrated the Lamela goal, which I haven't done with a Spurs goal for a little while, which was quite nice. And then when it went to penalties, I just couldn't remember us winning a penalty shootout for the last time we won one. I still can't remember before that one. And then, obviously, being pessimistic, I had certain people that came up that I thought were going to miss. So, for some reason, I trusted Dyer just because he'd scored the last two. The two that I was worried about was Højbjerg and then Lucas Moura. I don't know why. They were the two that I thought, oh, God, I don't trust you. And then this is how pessimistic I am. We got to Harry Kane after 4 perfect penalties, and I went, this will be typical. Perfect penalties, and then bloody Harry Kane misses one who never misses a penalty. But yeah, it was nice. I know, like, people giving stick on social media about Spurs celebrating beating Chelsea's second string, but we didn't put out our first team, so like it's the same thing. And then Arsenal did the same thing the night after, or 2 nights after, sorry. So yeah, it was good. Nice to get one over on Chelsea. Be it in a penalty shootout, who cares? And again, that's another momentum thing. Like, you lose that penalty shootout, all of a sudden, you've gone from that late equaliser against Newcastle in a very good first half performance. The second half was a bit flat. You go to the Chelsea game, and the first half performance was poor. We were poor in the first half. Second half, we were very good. Stepped it up, got the equaliser. But then you lose out on penalties, and you go into the next one, and it's like the momentum falls apart. So again, hopefully it's slowly building. You need to get a good result on Sunday, but yeah, I was pretty happy. I like Lamela, coke addiction or not. So to see him get the equaliser was nice. Yeah, just pretty good. Reguilon, I thought was really good, apart from his mistake for the goal. Jez, you said about Serge Aurier you thought he was really good on the night as well.
I actually did. I thought Aurier was superb. Reguilon was awesome. He was super eager to please, wasn't he? To the point of like going too far, but that's fine. And then test of character, I thought was spectacular. He obviously makes a mistake. He absolutely sells himself. Because he's so keen to make amends, bless him. And then second half, he's just awesome. Gets the assist. He's absolutely rapid, isn't he, as well? Even quicker than I thought he was, by the way.
That one, I've watched that one back on Hudson-Odoi going back the other way. It's so good. So good.
Sorry, Els, before we come to you, did anyone see the Sun's article about Reguilon's performance?
No.
It's an absolute joke. The article, the post is just essentially, like, I can't remember what else it was along the lines of Sergio Reguilon absolutely chokes. And it says, like, sells himself worse than Sol Campbell. We know when he does the long slide. Just slated him for having an awful debut. And it was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. He gets the assist and essentially takes us on to win the game in the penalty shootout. I just thought, you can't do that. That is the Sun to a T. And if you're watching the Sun, you can go and sit with Danny Murphy in the corner of not fans of the pod and not friends of the pod.
Yeah, I don't want to do the Sun here.
But Ollie, sorry, the penalty shootout, you're a bit more positive. And me and Pete were pretty much putting in that group, this is a miss, or we're going to be struggling here, can't see us winning this. You obviously come away, and I like that. You said, I'm not talking until the penalty shootout's done.
Yeah.
But what was you thinking?
Very much the same, boys.
Oh no!
I had the exact same thought as you, Pete. When we'd scored the first 4, and I looked at my partner Sarah, and I was like, "Well, the third penalty is normally the most important penalty, because that's normally like the swing penalty." And I was like, "So Kane's not gone first, so he must be third." And then it was a Højbjerg stepped up, and I sort of looked across, and I was like, "Where's Harry Kane?" And then he scored, and then it's the 4th penalty, and again, I was very concerned about Lucas Moura taking the penalty. Because I think he and Dyer missed their last shootout. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know he definitely did. I can't remember.
In the Norwich one, it was Lamella, Gedson, and Troy Parrott when it missed.
Right. So then Kane stepped up 4-4, and I had the exact same thought that would be so Spurs for him to go and put this in Rose Z or something. And he buried it. Why do we doubt him? And then they stepped up and hit the post. And I properly jumped up and cheered for joy, because penalty shootouts are the most stressful thing you could ever do. And as a spectator, obviously, as a player, it must be awful. But it'd be interesting to see sort of how they fared in terms of, without the fans there, because that would have a big impact. So that is quite an interesting thought I had. But yeah, I thought overall the game was okay. The game was good. Second half were much better. And again, sort of back 3 to start, wasn't it? With sort of the wing backs suited the 2 wing backs, I think. That's probably why Aurier did look so good. But yeah, it was nice seeing Ndombele get another 90 minutes as well. Bless him, he was so tired. Couldn't even cheer at the end. He was completely knackered. And and the first person to hit Lloris was Reguilon, obviously. A is one of the fastest, and B is proper come on you Spurs, isn't he? He just legged it. It was poof, gone.
And he is so rapid, and I have loved him. He's already really endeared himself to all the fans, I think. Massive. Also, did anyone else find themselves berating Hugo? Just dive right for once.
Yeah, mental, wasn't it? Was it the first 4 or 5 went all to the left?
And there's, both sides were just like, every single time, apart from Jorginho and Kane, the 2 pen takers were probably on the other side, weren't we? Everyone, and you're just going, Hugo, just dive to your right, please. I was just getting so frustrated with him.
It's one of those, isn't it? Because you're always told to not change your mind. You pick your point and go for it, and it's just that sort of position is going to make you think, should I change my side? If I was going left, should I stick with it? And it's that proper red or black, isn't it? Do you change for that one thing or not? But like I said, it's just a weird coincidence, isn't it?
No, absolutely.
But we're through, and without the Newcastle sort of handball fiasco, it would have technically been 6 wins on the bounce, which has been quite impressive, really, considering about 90 games in 4 days. But yeah, we're good.
No, it's very true. And then obviously the Europa game, we pretty much touched on it.
Yeah.
So I think it might be time for that 6-a-side segment. Yes, it's that 6-a-side segment. And the people have spoken. They voted in their thousands and thousands and thousands. And by a landslide, 3-1, we have our score. And they voted for the most attractive, most handsome, the bello Tottenham team. So we go through, as everyone knows, as everybody knows who watches this pod, all 30 of you, you know that we do it with 1 goalkeeper, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 1 striker. So very limited in the striking department, but the more I thought about it, the less I could think of attractive strikers. And I
found striker tricky.
I did find it upsetting sitting there. Today I was in a van helping my friend move, and I was thinking, sitting there in a white van, trying to be a tough guy, who are the sexiest footballers who are playing for Tottenham? But I give it a good go. And I'm going to open for us, boys, if that's okay. And I wonder if everyone can come down the same road. Point for our current keeper. Well, one of our current keepers, Paolo Gazzaniga, I think, is who I went for. I think he's possibly the most attractive goalkeeper we've ever had, and one of the least talented. But what... That's unfair on him. We've had some terrible goalies, and he's just okay.
Yeah, he didn't even get a mention last week.
I'm going to say, last week wasn't even top 3.
Well, I've gone for Gazza. So Gazzaniga is my first choice. Ollie, come round to you. What did you go for?
So I've also gone for a current Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper, but I've gone for Joe Hart.
Oh,
I think Joe Hart is and he's definitely more attractive than Paolo Gazzaniga, I would suggest. Gazzaniga's growing his hair out, and I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't suit him too well.
No, that's true.
Because the hair makes him in fact, you could argue my team also has the best hair as and when it gets released, but we'll see.
As and when it gets released. All right, I'm going to throw a little curveball at you. Ian Walker.
Ian Walker.
Who, by the way, must have been an attractive man because I seem to recall he posed naked for a ladies' magazine. So read into that what you will.
He must have the whole package.
Yes, he did. I don't know. I've never seen it.
How do we vote on this then?
I'm just going to get a picture up of Ian Walker.
Oh, right, before you vote.
So I can compare him to Gazzaniga in my mind. And I'm definitely picking Gazzaniga.
To be fair, I'm also going for Gazzaniga out of the two. I actually think Gazza, despite his hair being bad at the minute, as Joe Hart's got a very long neck, and that's what puts me off.
For the record, I would have gone for Joe Hart just over Ian Walker.
Okay.
I
just wanted to throw a curveball in there.
Yep.
I was going to put Hugo, so we would have been. We have got 3 very handsome goalkeepers at the minute.
We've got a very handsome team at the minute.
Oh. All right, then, Jez, hit us with a couple of defenders.
Okay. I'm a little bit unsure about my defenders that I picked, but I went for them all the same. One of them is another current player in Toby Alderweireld, and I think it's more because his hair is absolutely perfect every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Lego hair. And then my second player I went for is a little bit different, a little bit quirky. Bemar Asuakotu. I went for.
Oh.
Bit different, bit niche.
Disco Benny.
You're a night out, you're chatting up, you're talking to some girls, you're the sort of, you can be just normal, but then you've got your cool friend who might bring something a little different, something alternative that they might fancy. That's what I feel like. That's what I've gone for.
Good picks. Good sturdy picks.
I've gone for 2 former central defenders. One for me was an absolute no-brainer in Jan Vertonghen. Super Jan is very good looking in my opinion. And a slight interest one, I've gone for Michael Dawson.
Oh,
I think Dawson quite a strong look, but that's
Strong
fine.
I'd say he's more of an acquired taste, Oliver.
Well, I saw him on he did our sort of post-game puncture, and I thought he looked pretty dapper. So it might have been the suit that tricked me, but I don't know.
Yeah, might have been the suit.
and therefore you
Michael Dawson, by the way, is one of the few people where English is his first language and he sounds like he's speaking a foreign language because he puts so many ers in that it sounds like he has to think of the word in his head to translate it.
Because he's so attractive, Peter. He doesn't need to speak.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the Spartan six-a-side team, Pete. It's the sexiest.
Sexy. I've gone for 2 current Spurs defenders.
Okay.
Similar to Jerry, I've gone for Toby Alderweireld. Gaining him automatic place in the sexiest team. And I've also gone for a little bit out there, kind of quirky. I've gone for Serge Aurier.
He's a cool cat.
He's got a real kind of...
I was debating Aurier.
He's got a suaveness going about. I like that man's style, that man's swagger.
I'd like him to take me out for dinner,
I'd like him to wine and dine me. He's the kind of man I'd take home to my mother.
No, he ain't that. He's definitely a naughty character.
Yeah,
he's had some controversy.
Right. So we need another vote. Benny, Serge, or Dawes. And I'm sorry, I'm going to shoot down. Oh, Vertonghen. Yeah, I forgot about Vertonghen. I'm going to shoot down Dawes early. Jez?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot down Dawes straight away. I'm going to go with... Oh, I don't know, because Serge is more along the lines of my Benny Asuakotu. So I feel if I vote for Serge, then I'm...
My Benny.
So I'm voting for Jan.
Oh, I'm going Aurier.
To be fair, I'd have probably gone Jan as well, I think, out of 2. Benny was cool, but I'm going to go Jan. Nice little, beautiful Belgian pair of bastards.
Beautiful Belgian buns.
Belgian buns. Belgian.
Right, Jez. Hit us with some midfielders.
I think the first one's a no-brainer. I went for Jamie Redknapp. If he's not in everyone's team, I'll be fuming. And the second one was Danny Murphy. No, not
you, Danny Murphy.
Hideous on the
Get out of
inside.
here, Danny Murphy.
No chance.
I
Absolutely.
bet
no.
he reads The Sun as well.
Oh, yes.
He probably wrote that article in The Sun.
He's an absolute scuzzer. Everybody knows it. It wasn't him. So I'm completely forgetting who the other player was now. Go on, Wally, and come back to me. Let
I've
me
gone
double check.
for... Sorry?
David Bentley.
David Bentley.
Bentley.
David Bentley. I think he's a good-looking cat. I think he got a bit of grief when he was playing for us. I think he's a really cool guy. Love him when I see him in interviews. Funny character, but handsome fella. And apparently he cuts his own hair. Really good
Fair
trim.
Fair play.
Apparently he's never paid for a haircut.
So I have also gone for David Bentley.
Oh.
Because
He's in.
during his time at Spurs, he had quite long hair and it really pulled off well. So fair play to him. I've also
Does
got
that make him an automatic qualifier?
He is indeed. I've also gone for the absolutely adorable Lewis Holtby.
Oh. Oh, you've definitely got a type, mate. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Hey, what can I say?
What can I say?
I know my type of man when I see him.
You know, Ollie, when Lewis Holtby signed for Spurs, a few of my friends sent me pictures of him and said he looked like me. So maybe question what you're doing here, mate, because we're blood. So, a little bit strange what's going on here.
Right. My first one. I've gone for Jermaine Genius. Already had a mention today.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I thought
I think he's a handsome chap, and also he definitely has the elixir of life because that man does not age.
Nope.
He looks the same now as he does when he turned on the scene at 19. Jerry, you'll be pleased to know my second is Jamie Redknapp. Qualifying him to go straight into the team.
How you didn't pick him, Ollie, over Lewis Holtby, Jerry Kynes over Jamie Redknapp? Are you nuts?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
I did forget about Jamie Redknapp, to be fair. Harry put
wasn't
me
he
off,
in the
probably.
at the same time as Dawson? Wasn't he sitting next to Dawson when he was?
Maybe, mate.
I think he was. I'm pretty sure
He was on the same pundit team.
I don't remember Redknapp playing for us. That sounds mental, but it's not a person I associate with Spurs. Even though he played quite a lot for us, I just don't associate him with us.
Ollie was too busy pining over Dawson that he didn't notice Redknapp sitting there.
It's because
Doors.
Jamie has dark hair and blondes are clearly my type.
If you put Roman Pavlyuchenko in for your striker, I'm kicking off, mate.
Oh no! There's every
Right,
chance.
go on then, Jez.
There's every chance.
The striker I went for is actually Jermaine Defoe. I think he's a cool cat.
He is.
I went for also because I've heard tales of Defoe being an absolute demon with the ladies. So I think who did some like Question of Sport or not Question of Sport, but one of those programs, and Jack Whitehall kept calling him the Pussy Ranger. that is how I see Jermaine Defoe. Ever since I reckon he's an absolute demon. So I've gone for him.
I actually met Jermaine Defoe in the line for the cinema once, and he was with a blonde lady. So you know,
and Ollie was with a blonde man.
Yeah, she wasn't my type, unfortunately.
But her brother.
Jermaine Defoe though was gorgeous. No blonde hair. For my striker, I've gone for Fernando Llorente.
Oh, I did think about Llorente.
He's got just beautiful eyes, and that was it.
Yes, mate, that's all it took.
That's all I needed. And he's rather good looking guy. Questionable hair on occasion, but for the most part, he was all right. He let it go slightly wild towards the end of his days at Spurs. It might have been a sign of things going wrong, I don't know. But yeah, no, he's a good looking chap. So in he goes.
Well, I'm looking at mine now. I'm thinking it's quite a bad shout, actually. I've gone for Dimitar Berbatov.
Okay. There's something about him.
He's just kind of cool, isn't he? I think maybe I was swayed by his coolness rather than the fact that he actually is quite handsome. I'm happy for him not to go in there. I'm backtracking already. Fine.
He's a cool character.
Okay.
And some of the tales about him, like essentially taking on the Bulgarian mafia, I believe them.
And he's got an incredible six-pack.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, oh no, I was about to go Will Crew. I was going to go, and a really long penis, I heard.
Gerald.
That's not what we're about on this. Come on, man.
No, do you know what? That's not what we're about. That's the sort of thing that Danny Murphy would say.
Bloody Danny
And
Murphy.
the sun.
You'll get Danny Murphy watching us if you're not careful, making jokes like that.
I hope not.
Like, you know, we were getting manlier and manlier, and I thought, why not just say it?
So, I would vote
But those
JD
are our
for me.
votes. We've all gone different, and I would vote for Ollie. Who'd you go for?
Lorente.
Lorente. I'd vote for Lorente. I think Nando. Yeah.
I'm gonna go JD as well. Why not?
Yeah.
JD gets
I've seen it in the flesh. I've seen him in the flesh, and his pulling power, so he goes in.
That seems fair. JD's a fair shout. So, boys, are you not entertained?
On the subject of strikers. Oh,
hang on.
Sorry, I was about to jump in and go on the subject of strikers, but I forgot we've got to do the whole team. Sorry.
Please wait, Peter.
Sorry.
Are you not entertained? Most attractive six-a-side team is as follows. In goal, we have Paolo Gazzaniga with his gorgeous long hair, not too dissimilar to my own. We have Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen, two gorgeous Belgian buns. A midfield duo of David Bentley and Jamie Redknapp. And up front, the dynamite at the cinema, Jermaine Defoe.
Nice.
Really nice. Ollie, could you please give the two midfielders a name? Because I was doing everybody else.
Oh, I'd just handsome devils. One owns a lovely restaurant in Spain, so I'm sure he's got Spanish girls. And the other is his dad's Harry Redknapp.
Really nice. Really
His
nice.
future doesn't look bright, does it, Jamie, to be fair? But hopefully, fingers crossed for him.
Quick question for you, Jez. What position does Jermaine Defoe play?
Striker.
Speaking of strikers, looks like we've signed a new one, boys.
We have.
Yeah, does anyone know anything about him?
I know he celebrates like this.
Yeah.
Very nice.
He might get into a six-a-side team in the future.
Oh, no. Not over JD. Not over the pussy range.
Yeah, no, we don't know very much about him, really. I think he's 25. He's 6'3", isn't he? He's quite quick, left-footed. He seems slightly different to Kane. It looks like he could possibly hold the ball up slightly better than him. As good as Kane is, I wouldn't say sort of being dominant in the air and winning headers is his sort of thing. So maybe Vinicius could do that. He's much quicker than Kane as well, which offers something different. But he's interesting. 25. I think he was at Napoli before Benfica. Didn't do much there.
Yeah, he didn't really play anything.
Yeah, gone there, top goal scorer. I know Wolves tried to sign him last season. Of course they did. But yeah, so interesting. Well, he's a proper like George Mendes, isn't he? So he's the super agent. He's done all sorts of mental deals.
Is he Brazilian?
Yeah. But I did read a lot of people, a lot of Benfica fans in particular, are furious with the owners, saying it's the worst deal he's ever done. So that's good news. Wow. So that could be a good thing. And it's a €3 million loan. Sorry, €3 million loan with option to buy at the end of it for 45 mil minus a 3, so 42 mil.
That's great. It's only an option to buy as well, and not.
Yeah, so it's basically if he's crap like Jedson, we can send him back. Hopefully he's not.
I saw a thing as well. Jan Vertonghen, bless him, scored an own goal in their Champions League qualifier. So they got knocked out of the Champions League, and everyone was putting like Agent Vertonghen getting Vinicius over, kicking him out of the Champions League as he comes to play for Spurs.
But you're still beautiful, Vertonghen.
Yeah, you and your Belgian buns made it in our team.
He's still in the team, my man.
Oh, I didn't know that Jan done that. I also, Ollie, I thank you for that, because I didn't know a lot of the information you just gave me there. For example, I didn't know he's left-footed, didn't know he's particularly quick. I just had a little look at him, like as we do little YouTube clips. You don't really know. You see a highlight reel, and they could be fantastic. So, honestly, I don't know much about him. That's all really interesting to me because I didn't know. I see it's a good goal return at Benfica, and that he was well liked there. I thought he looked super young. So at first I thought he was like 18, 19.
So did I.
Yeah, he is, like you say, he is 25. And at this point, I think when the word come in and the whole of the football Twitter, Tottenham universe would have gone, all right, cool. Because we're just desperate for a striker. So I don't think anyone about him, but everyone's more than happy for him to arrive. And Benfica have announced it, haven't they? But we haven't yet. So we'll fiddle around with a video for about 12 days.
Yeah.
And then we'll see it.
What I find interesting is how they've all of a sudden, he was always Spurs' number one target in the transfer
Yeah, so I was going to say, I heard that.
It's like, was he? Because we've been linked with literally every striker in the world. So was he our number one target, or are you just trying to play it out like he was our number one target?
So I think I saw Ali Gold that tweeted out saying that he was Mourinho's top target, and we tried to sign it at the start of the window. So my dog's barking in the background. We tried to sign at the start of the window and got quoted 55 million or something for him. So he just went, no thanks. And then when they got knocked out from Agent Jan, we sort of suddenly reappeared with the offer, and they took it. So they must have some issues at Benfica for them to take that, because it's not like I say, get 73 million plus him off the wage books maybe. So I don't know, but
you have to admire Levy. You have to admire Levy with his opportunism.
Oh yeah.
So he sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like when he went in with 3 mil and Onuma for Grealish because Aston Villa were financially in trouble, was a bit like you're taking the piss. But there's sometimes he does make good deals for us, to be fair to him. So
yeah. Well, it looks like the sort of thinking is get a striker on a low fee, and then we've got whatever we want for a defender.
Yeah.
The Skriniar deal, do we think it's likely? It's stalling, I've heard, or Milan are sort of umming and ahhing. We don't want to give as much money as they want, which I get because it's difficult. I mean, I don't know. We found the cash throughout. To be fair, we haven't really spent much at all, have we? Not even
really.
like $1 million from all the transfers. You've been so level with it. So I kind of get what Levy's doing, and with a loan to buy, you're hoping by the time that season comes to the end, fans are back in stadiums, fingers crossed. And you make money back, and you're able to have some events there, and you'll be able to get the pennies in expected we're going to cover the costs. So I think it's very clever, all the sort of loan deals to try and make things to stall for time, make it happen. I'm surprised the chaps down the road in Arsenal haven't been doing the same thing, because I don't know, they haven't got that much money either. They've got to be careful, and they don't seem to be doing the same things as Levy, to be a bit smarter about it. We'll see.
You like United being the same as well?
Yeah, United too. Why aren't they? Why isn't everyone trying this? It's clever. It makes it work.
It's arguably like the ideal scenario for Levy in the team, because that's what they're good at, creative deals and stuff. And just circling back down to Skriniar, it looks like Milan have said we want this amount for him. I think again, Ali Gold said about £10 million apart, but now we've got the Europa League, we might sort of push that up to 45 mil or whatever it might be. Push it up 5 mil, and that should get it done. So it'll be interesting. It'd be great to get him in. Obviously, we need that centre back, and I'd be fairly confident that it'd be done. Just from what I've read on sort of online, and it looks like Milan are trying to force our hand a little bit with all of this sort of stuff, saying he's not for sale. We haven't had a reasonable offer, that sort of thing. It just looks like sort of posturing to me, that they're just saying, well, if you put enough money for him, he's yours, basically. Because a player that doesn't play, you can get 45 mil for him, happy days.
Same as Adeli, who, by the way, showed a little something.
He did. He did.
Something great trick. Won the penalty, scored it. And is it awful that I would still take a 45 million bid if it came through? Take it, snap it up.
He also played a first-time pass to Stevie for Kane's hat-trick goal. It was good.
The problem is with Dele, when he's got time and we're winning, he looks great.
Yeah.
But when he hasn't and we're not winning, he doesn't, and that's the biggest problem. I think he's a fantastic sub when he won 2-0 up or 2-0 up, 3-0 up. So he'll come on and he'll make a couple of goals, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem.
Muller.
Sorry, mate.
Send for the rubbish Muller. Get him on there. The lesser Muller. Get him on.
You know what I thought you said? Send for the Pussy Ranger, like you wanted Jermaine Defoe to come back.
I actually would have had JD back at this point before we signed this Brazilian lad. I was thinking, bring the Pussy Ranger back. He's going to get some goals. Give him last 20 minutes. He'll make it happen. I was loving it. Because we got Bale back, I got a bit of mania for it. I was like, well, let's bring JD back as well.
Robbie Keane and Dimitar Berbatov.
Let's get them all back in. They're all legends.
Pavlyuchenko.
And let's bring Jan back again.
We'll take Jan. Bless him.
I was getting uber excited. But, boys, I think we're coming to tying up about there. We've been chatting each other's faces off, haven't we? About manly men chat, all about good-looking chaps, isn't it? It's a manly pod. We love football. And I think we all love girls as well, but that's not to say we can't talk about a good boy every now and then. So, boys, I've got to ask you. Ollie, I'm going to ask you first. Are you or are you not entertained by the way?
I certainly am entertained with our cockerel. Clever.
What are you doing to us? And Peter, are you or are you not entertained?
Currently, I am entertained. Ask me again on Sunday after the Man United game.
2-0 Man United.
I'll ask you another question each, boys, before I lose you. Dele Alli, is he in the squad on Sunday? Pete?
No.
Ollie?
Yes.
I think he might be as well. I think Mourinho will find it hard to be like, you know what, he come on, he got a goal and done something very noticeable that the fans are going to expect to see that. I think it might be quite hard to not him there, but I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't.
I'll add a caveat to mine.
In the middle.
If Son is fit, he's not in the squad. If Son's out, he's in the squad.
Fair disclosure. Also, I meant to say at the beginning of the video, but I forgot. If you're still here, like us, subscribe. Please be our friend. Please love us. Please, 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 dear God, watch us again.
Thank you, guys.
See you later, boys.